welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijasod. On this week edition of the program, we'll be focusing on several activities that have happened in the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria in the last 8 years. We also have news stories for you. We will be right back.
On oath.
It's the 6th Quadrennial National Delegates Conference of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria. Stakeholders, industry leaders, and government representatives gathered to discuss the future of work in the maritime sector.
Under the able leadership of Mr. President, the Ministry has prioritized port reforms to reduce cargo dwell time, ease congestion, and strengthen collaboration with key stakeholders for greater efficiency. Efforts are on to deploy technology to improve and increase operational efficiency.
In his address, NLC President Joe Ajero commended the outgoing administration's achievements while also using the platform to highlight the struggles of Nigerian workers.
We must also confront the harsh realities of our time, the increasing tensions of governments to renege on agreements reached with trade union movement in the cause of grave concerns. We have seen this in arbitrary increase of telecom tariffs, the unjust hikes in electricity tariffs, and the refusal to engage in meaningful social dialogue. These actions are not just attacks on workers, they are attacks on the very fabric of our society.
After the business session, elections were conducted to usher in a new leadership. Francis Bono emerged unopposed as the new President General of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria.
In the history of what? Maritime Workers Union of what? Nigeria. That which it has never happened before. This is the first time that the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria have having its good ever before in our life. Comrade, please join me and to thank the outgone executives and also the President General, Comrade Adewale Adeoju, now emeritus.
At the end of the conference, there was a renewed commitment to enhancing the welfare of maritime workers and improving labor conditions in the sector.
Humble, focused, goal-oriented.
That is why we are saying no and not.
A voice for the voiceless, a philanthropist, a team player, and an outstanding leader. These are some of the words that describe Comrade Prince Adewale Adeoju.
In line with the rules, we shall abide by it. The Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria will continue to support this collaboration 100%.
For more than 3 decades, Comrade Adeoju has been at the forefront of Nigeria's maritime labor movement. From the docks to the negotiation table, he has led with resilience, defending workers' rights, advocating for better welfare, and ensuring industrial harmony across the country's ports and terminals. He works to ensure that the dignity of labor is preserved, that workers' voices are heard, and that the Nigerian maritime industry thrives. Born in Oyo town in Oyo State into the royal family of Adeoju, he began his career as a dock worker. As a young dock worker, he witnessed firsthand the challenges of the maritime sector, such as poor wages, unsafe working conditions, and lack of proper representation. But rather than succumb to the hardship, he chose to fight back.
The Maritime has enjoyed tremendous peace during his tenure. He's a leader that he has strategically managed the industry in terms of stakeholder engagement.
You'll be wondering how he became a union man.
somebody as humble, as quiet and unassuming, and he became the President General of what Dock Workers, Maritime Workers Union. You will be wondering how he was able to handle that, because somebody, when you see him, you won't even believe it's a unionist. Yeah, because he's very quiet. So I wonder how he was able to do it, but I think he's a nice man.
His commitment to change led him to move through the ranks of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, where he became the President General in 2017, a position that would cement his legacy in Nigeria's labor movement. After taking office at a time of labor unrest and structural challenges, Adeyanju's administration at the Maritime Workers Union prioritized welfare, stability and reforms. His leadership secured the first ever minimum standard for conditions of service in Nigeria's shipping sector, setting a benchmark wage of 200,000 naira for workers. His administration also secured a regular wage increment for dock workers and seafarers, achieving the highest pay scale in the history. Another milestone is the historic salary review for workers of the Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) after nearly 2 decades of stagnation. He believes that an injury to one is an injury to all.
He is very, very passionate about the welfare of the workers. I mean, you can't take that away from him. He is extremely passionate, but rather than being combative and adversarial in driving home the point, he believes so much in the principle and the idea of negotiation, engaging the management, the business, to discuss, positively.
In respect of the PG, Adeyanju has been a very wonderful professional to the core. When I say professional to the core, because of the experience, his background, his pedigree, he has proven that, yes, he understands the industry very well.
Perhaps one of his greatest achievements is industrial peace. While the maritime sector was once known for frequent strikes and unrest, his tenure ushered in an era of stability using dialogue rather than disruption. He championed major reforms, including preventing the passage of the Ports and Harbour Bill, which would have led to massive job losses, ensuring regular celebration of Dock Workers Day and the Maritime Workers Estate Project, which provides affordable housing for union members. Whenever national issues arise, Prince Adewale Adeyanju is never silent. He fought for the rehabilitation of port access roads, challenged unregistered dock labor practices, and advocated stronger implementation of the cabotage law to protect local jobs. As Comrade Adewale Adeyanju hands over the baton of leadership of the Maritime Workers Union, his legacy remains etched in history. His journey does not end here at the Maritime Union, as he is still the Deputy National President of the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC) and the Vice President of the International Transport Workers Federation (ITF).
So if I'm to come back to this word again, I will still come back as a unionist, and I will come back as a dock worker, because they train me to a standard. So today, all the dock workers in the port, I cannot satisfy everything, but they believe in what we are doing.
Despite his busy schedule, Prince Adewale Adeyanju has been able to touch so many lives in different communities through the Prince Adewale Adeyanju Foundation path. The legacy of Comrade Prince Adewale Adeyanju.
On the the profile interview segment this week, I'll be speaking with Comrade Adewale Adeyanju, who served as the president of the Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria for 8 years. He tells me some of his achievements, some of the challenges he faced while serving, and also provides solutions to some of the challenges in the maritime industry. Take a listen. It's good to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a long time since we had a conversation, and we're having this conversation as we're handing over the baton of office to another set of leaders to continue. Can you share with us what your experience has been leading the Maritime Workers Union for the last 8 years?
Well, I want to thank you for having me on your program. I want to first and foremost thank my God who have been giving me this support so far. Thanking all the members of Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria from the 4 branches of this great union for their support. Thanking all the stakeholders, the respected ones who have value for the workers, who have value for what the union are doing for almost 8 years now. So I want to thank God for the great job that God has given us to handle on behalf of the poor workers at the Cape on. So, well, 8 years is like a minute in the eyes of Almighty God. The day you have been elected, you know you must live one day. So, and I believe we've contributed our own quota and to the success story that everybody is talking about today. Though we cannot satisfy people, but we believe we've done what is expected of us. We lead our members very well. We've defend their rights, and it's only God that will judge the other one that we didn't do well. So, to me, I need to thank God. Anytime I wake up in the morning, I say Alhamdulillah, because it is not easy. It is not easy to lead a very sensitive place like called port dock workers or seafarers, MPA, and shipping. You know, we have 4 branches, and you as a president general, everybody wants you to perform magic, and the magic is not there if you don't have good executives at your back. But my mind is that I have a good executive that have been very supportive. So this is where we find ourselves.
So far during your time as the President General, which one of the moments would you say was the best moment, and which of the moment do you feel was like the lowest moment?
Every moment are the best for me, because when you wake up in the morning, what you need to do is to say Alhamdulillah, because you may not know the moment the crisis is going to engulf you when you are coming to the office. So every moment is my moment. And if God attests to what I have in mind to do that very moment, I will do it. The beauty of it was that of bringing all the factions, the warrior of this great union, Chief Ukabuna, Chief Ogulaye together. Those are my happiest moments in my struggle, because it is a journey of 23 years when the 2 leaders cannot meet. When the election of Maritime Workers of Nigeria is coming, there will be crisis. Nobody will like to visit us in the office, and head will roll. A lot of incitement coming from an outsider to come and say, yes, this particular candidate must emerge, this one must emerge. And we lost life. So many times we lost life when the election is coming. But when I came in on board, until we transform ourselves to a standard, we say, look, enough of this thuggery. It doesn't help, it doesn't save us. And even some of our management too, NIMASA contributed to this success story. Nigeria Port Authority trained the trainers. Because when you're in a particular place, if there's no awareness, no orientations coming from your employers, how do you succeed? How do you move forward? So the terminal operators today, they came in 2006, if I'm not mistaken, and they've transformed their workers. They trained their workers very well. It's even helped the union to negotiate proper, unlike before we don't have condition of service for dock workers. But today, we have condition of service for them. And it's every 2 years. with all the stakeholders, midwife by Nigeria NIMASA, and witnessed by Nigeria Port Authority and all the terminal operators. So if we have been having this kind of condition of service in the lives of dock workers and other relevant agencies, I do not think we'll be having problem. But today we thank God that things is moving the way we expected.
Okay, from feedback from your members and also some of the experience I've had relating with the union, we know that you prioritize workers' welfare, and there were some issues that you met on ground that you tried to resolve. However, the aged dock workers from the defunct Nigerian National Shipping Line, their issue. I know that there were several times that you tried to engage with the federal government and relevant stakeholders on this matter. Is there any updates on this development?
Yeah, I want to commend the Minister of Blue Economy, Alhaji Adegboyega Oyetola, for handling this matter when he came in on board. A committee was set up, and as I'm talking to you, the committee have submitted their reports before the Honorable Minister, and I heard from grapevine that yes, the matter is being forwarded to Ministry of Finance, and what we're asking now is that this will expedite actions from the government to pay this agency fares. It's almost 30 years ago that this matter has been on ground. You investigated this matter for some times, and you know what those Baba passed through. The government should not see them as if they are slave in their father's land. They've contributed to seafaring in this country, and I think the last time I met with the Honorable Minister of Blue Economy, he said yes, he's aware of this matter, and if they are going to do something. On his case, I think he must have done one or two things that are still within their purview. They don't want us to know, because the union were eagerly expecting the government to have invited us for proper negotiation for the agency fares in the port.
Okay, very quickly, during your tenure as a leader, the terminal operator's license was got expired, and there's been different agitation from different quarters on the need for it to be renewed so that workers can actually know what their status is in the operations of the port.
But to me, government appointed and disappointed. We don't know how they got the job. It's the government that appointed them on behalf of the government. But the fear that is in the mind of the workers now in the port was what happened in 2003 when this terminal operator were to come in. They were telling us nobody will lose their job, everybody will be well taken care of. But the result was not what we expected. In Nigeria Port Authority, we lost close to 30,000 of our members, and the dock workers affected by what they paid them was just 200,000 naira then. But now, this terminal operator have come in for almost 16 years or 18 years now, and the government is trying to review the contract agreement between the two parties. Where is the life of the workers? Because that's our anxiety now in the mind of all the workers in the port. Not only NPA, not only dock workers, all the 4 branches of this great union is going to be affected. So we don't know what the government have for them, because they appointed them and they are ready to disappoint them. But what happened to the poor workers at the Cape Town? Those have contributed to this success story of terminal operations. Like, for instance, our indigenous terminal operators, they've done well. They can compare with all these global terminal operators in the whole world. So if government say we want to review their licenses, let them do it on time so that the labor must carry it along. The interest of the worker, the interest of the labor must be carried along. That is our stand on this matter.
Okay, a lot of things have been happening in the world of work. The ports, or the maritime sector to be precise, is a particular industry that is actually key to the economy of the country, and it has the potential of creating more jobs. What do you think relevant stakeholders should be doing towards ensuring that we have more young persons come into the scheme of things and contribute their own quota to national development?
Where the investors will not allow themselves to come and bring money, to come and invest in a country that is not secure because of bringing a policy that is going to affect their investment. So to me, some of the terminal operators and some of the relevant investors in Nigeria today, they've contributed their quota, but the government too need to have their value. They need to support what the private businessman is doing for the poor workers. So like Dangote, see what is happening. It is one of the employers of labor that give employment to Nigerians. So where is the encouragement coming from the government to support them? Government is not ready to have a company. Rather, they treat all the other people that are investing in our country as number one citizen than even the citizen of this country. So to me, when you train me, I think you are trying to train me to a standard.
There's been this issue that you raised while during your tenure as regards the reintroduction of tally clerk and onboard security into the job space. For a while, they've not been present. What's your reaction to this, and what is the implication of this to the maritime industry?
I think the management of the former MPA, they are the one that abolished what we call tally clerks and onboard women, and they replaced them with cargo surveyor. The two are not the same. Tally clerks all over the world, they call them stevedore. They tally physically. They are not cargo surveyor that take the breadth of the weight and the breadth of the vessels. So there is no how you're going to compare the two together. So I think the management made some mistake by abolishing them. And what the union have been saying is that, yes, we have to bring them back because they form integral part of dock workers. There's no how you're going to say, yes, we don't need them anymore. So we've written several letters to the authority concerned that they should resuscitate back the tally class and onboard women. And the letter is before the Minister of Blue Economy, who said they are going to look into that matter. So to me, the advantage is so enormous that I think the government are losing greatly. When the vessel of 30,000 metric tons is coming, some shipping company can declare 25,000 metric tons. Who tally those cargoes? Who take the record? Where is the revenue going to? It's under declaration of tonnage, under declaration of a cargo manifest. That's what we are saying, that the government should bring them back, transform them to a standard, that the stevedore contractors are the one managing them. So they can bring them back and train them to be a standard worker.
Can you put a figure to the amount of money Nigerian government is losing from this development?
They are losing a lot of money because there's no, I'm going to give a figure because I'm not a statistician. So the revenue they are losing every day is there because all vessels that are coming in now, who tally them? Who tally those cargo? Physical tallying, that's what we're saying. So they are losing a lot of revenue because I don't know what you declare in Port Harcourt, but you have tally class in Port Harcourt. But you say no, you don't need them to be tallying anymore. Then who take the records of those cargo? Because their job is physical tallying. They are not cargo surveyor. Cargo surveyor are not the same with tally clerk. So, and I believe the minister is a listening minister. That's Baba Debu Oyetola is a listening minister who I think is trying to look at our demand because we are asking them to bring them back.
On a final note, you are still the Deputy President of the Nigerian Labour Congress and also the Vice President of International Transport Federation Workers, ITF. What should we be expecting from you now that you're playing more at the international scene? And what more will you be expecting from member countries, especially in Africa?
Service delivery. Like I've done it in my country, I need to expand my scope over there too. They'll be eager to see me. So it's your support, the support of everybody, make it to happen. So I need to play my role as God sent, like God sent to me now to come and interview me. So I need to play my role to other African countries because they are losing greatly too. Some other African country doesn't have what we call CBA. There's nothing like collective bargaining agreement between the employer and employees. They don't have. So now I think they want Africa, Nigeria, to come and replicate what we have done here in our country, like Liberia, like Sierra Leone. They don't have conditions of service for their workers. So an ITF have already sent our template, because we sent our template to them, our collective bargaining agreement that we have in Nigeria to other African countries. So we are going there to tell them this is the way it's supposed to be. So that's the assignment given to me. So I'm good to go.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again.
Thank you for having me on your program. It's a pleasure.
And that's all we can take on today's edition of the program. Join us next week for a fresh edition of the show. I am Sharon Ijason. Thanks for watching, and remember that labor creates wealth.